guys, and welcome back to another video in Foundation February. Today I am going to be doing a review, first impressions, and wear test on the new L'Oreal Infallible 24-hour fresh wear foundation in a powder. I'm always so curious about powder foundations, and I've only tried a few, like maybe 4 or so in the past, and they've all been kind of good, but I've never really gotten into them. And when I saw this one come out, I'm like, well, I should just give it a try to see, because maybe this will be like the first powder foundation that I truly enjoy and will actually reach for in the future. This is going to be very similar to all of my other wear test review videos. I'll do a midday check-in, and I'll come back at the end of the night to show you guys how everything is holding up. And yeah, I guess we can just go ahead and get started. I am drinking tea today because I have had the worst cramps all night and all morning. Nothing is helping, so I'm just gonna drink some chamomile tea. If I seem kind of like out of it today, that is why. It says here that it is a full matte coverage waterproof foundation. It should last up to 24 hours. I have a normal to combination skin in the summer and then normal to dry in the winter, so I'm curious to see how this one will perform. I think powder foundations would actually look quite nice on oilier skin types or normal skin types. Hopefully this works for me. I did pick up the shade 130 True Beige, which looked fine online, but when I got it, it looks kind of pale. It does come with a little brush or spongy thing as well. I think I'm going to maybe try one side with that sponge and then the other side with my buffing paddle brush. But because this is a powder product, I'm going to start with applying my concealer, which is the XX Revolution concealer in the shade 5.7. I'm just going to apply it how I would normally apply it if I was wearing it on top of a foundation. So usually forehead, under my eyes, around my mouth area, and because my skin is just not looking great today, I'm just going to do a little bit of spot concealing as well. Just going to blend this out with my other paddle brush from e.l.f. This is just in the smaller size. It is starting to snow. Well, it's actually been snowing kind of all morning, and then it stopped for a bit. It started raining, but now it's like kind of starting to snow again, but not much. They were telling us that we would get like a big snowfall dump this Sunday, but not from what I've seen so far, so maybe it's still coming. I don't know. Oh, it smells? I guess it kind of smells like sunscreen. I'm just going to actually touch it because I want to feel how soft it is. Ooh, it is pretty soft. Let me just swatch. Oh, you know what? This color might actually be okay. I think maybe it looks paler in the pan, but once you start like getting into it, I think it might work. So I'm going to take this little sponge thing that they give. I don't like using these sponges very often because I just like don't know how to wash it or even how to use it, but I'm going to start patting it into my skin with this sponge. Well, I don't know if I'm so much patting it or like rubbing it into my skin. Oh, that is very matte. I mean, I should have known it was going to be matte because it's called a matte powder, but that is like even more matte than I had thought. I am getting really nice coverage though with this little sponge. Definitely picked the wrong shade because I should have picked something that was darker so that I could wear this in the summer. I do feel like a matte product would work better when my skin isn't so dry. That actually looks very nice on the skin. It's very smooth looking and airbrushed. I'll do a close-up after, but just off that initial, oh my gosh, my dark circles. I could not sleep last night because like I said, I had the worst cramps and I was up at like 3 and then I could not go back to sleep. I started just like walking around my house at night. It looks very smooth. It looks very airbrush on the skin. The coverage is really nice. I'm just gonna put a little bit more right here to see if it can build it up. But it is very nice. I would say it's full coverage for sure. It doesn't look cakey, but it does look quite dry on the skin. Besides that, it does look really nice. And of course, you can only really tell that it's sitting on top of the skin if you're really, really up close. I'm going to take this brush now and go in and do the exact same thing. I just want to see how it applies with the dense buffing brush because I feel like this will be my go-to method of application in the future. Especially a brush like this because it's so big that it can like really cover a lot of surface area and take way less time than that little sponge. I actually think I got pretty much the same amount of coverage with the sponge and the brush. I'm just gonna kind of pack it on here. Definitely the brush took quicker and it's a little bit easier to maneuver because you have like, you know, you can sweep in small circular buffing motions. I do like both sides actually, like both ways of applying it. Oh my god, I look so pale. But yeah, I do like how it looks so far. My skin looks very soft right now. It doesn't feel sticky or tacky or anything. I wonder if this actually has SPF in it. I don't think it does. It just says it's waterproof, so it would be a good one to wear in the summer if it was in a shade that would work for me in the summer. I don't think this would work. I'm pretty impressed by the way this foundation is looking like because it doesn't really look like a powder. Like it does look very matte, but it doesn't look like a powder, which is kind of nice to see. I'm going to go ahead and apply the rest of my makeup and then I will pop back on, show you guys what else is on my face. I am thinking I'm going to film a video after this one, like an eye makeup look. It might take me a bit longer because I'll be talking through it, but just so you guys know, it's 12:55 in the afternoon, so I'm just going to call the check-in time 1 p.m. I don't actually know when I finished the foundation portion, so I will be back when the rest of my makeup is done. Okay, so I am back. On the rest of my face, I used the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer in the shade Bronzer. I used the Physicians Formula Butter Blush in the shade Rosy Pink. I ended up setting my under eye area around my mouth, my chin, and my forehead with a little bit of the Milani Prep Set and Glow, and I kind of just did it because I felt like my under eyes weren't completely set to begin with. I didn't really apply foundation there, and also the foundation was looking so matte on my skin that I just wanted something to kind of brighten up the center of my face, so that's what I used. And I also set my skin with the Lasting Fix from Maybelline. On my eyes, I have the Blueberry Muffin eyeshadow palette. I have the video going up with me applying this makeup look, so it's already been posted, but I did use this palette. And I also used the glitter from Beige Cosmetics in the shade Illuminateal, I think is what it's called. And then on my lips, I mixed the Revlon Colorstay Satin Inks, which I have been loving lately. I used the shade Eyes on You and Your Go-To for this lip color. I think the foundation actually looks very nice now that I have the rest of my makeup on. It looked nice before I applied the makeup, but I think now that it's had a chance to kind of warm up to my skin and mesh in with the setting spray, I think it looks a whole lot better and more natural on my skin. And I do really like this color. I think the shade, what is it, True Beige, is perfect if you have like a lighter olive skin tone. I actually think it's kind of darkened just a little bit. When I first watched it, I'm like, God, this is way too pale for me. But now that everything's applied, I actually think it looks pretty good. Everything blended really nicely on top. Skin looks and feels really nice right now. Definitely has that powdery finish to it though, so if you're not into like the matte or powdery looking foundations, you should definitely steer clear of this one. Even though it does have that more powdery finish, it looks beautiful on the skin, like up close. It looks very flawless. It looks airbrushed. It looks very soft. Like my face just looks very soft, and it actually feels so soft right now. It's such a nice feeling powder. So far, I really like it, and I'm excited to see how it wears throughout the day. So I will continue on with my day. I will check back in midday, so around 5. We'll see how it wears throughout the day, and yeah, I'll catch you guys at the midday check-in. Hey guys, so it is currently 4:30 in the afternoon. Unfortunately, this can't really be a natural light. Even though I'm kind of in front of my window right now, it is so dark and dreary outside because it's still snowing. So I had to turn my light on. But This is what the foundation is looking like. It has only been about 3.5 hours. I actually think it looks really, really nice. Like, it still looks very smooth on my skin. It still looks very soft. It hasn't broken down anywhere. It's not looking greasy or oily on my skin. It doesn't feel sticky. It still feels very soft and velvety on the skin. And I'm just overall quite impressed with this foundation. It doesn't look heavy or cakey anywhere, and I actually haven't left my apartment today, so I didn't have to wear a mask. So I actually haven't checked or tested it out to see if it's mask proof. Maybe I'll do that before the end of the night just to see what happens when I wear it. But I don't think it's worn away anywhere. Very happy with the way my skin looks today. Obviously it's more matte than I'm used to, more matte and powdery. But that being said, I feel like as the day goes on, it's starting to look better and better. Like, it's kind of getting that more natural finish to it, that satiny finish versus that super matte powdery look. Like, I definitely like it more now than I did at the very, very start. Anyway, this is how it looks right now. I'm pretty happy with it. I think it's holding up really, really well, and I guess we'll see how it wears for the rest of the night. Hey guys, I am back. It is 10:11 in the evening. So this foundation has been on actually for about 9 hours. I obviously can't do the full 24-hour wear test. I actually think it looks really nice. At least from a distance, it looks really nice. My skin still looks very smooth, still look quite soft, and it hasn't gotten super shiny or oily or anything either. Like, I definitely have more of a luminosity to my skin now. There's a little bit of shine coming through on like my chin and on this area of my face, but for the most part, like, my forehead doesn't look shiny. Everything looks very soft and satin, I guess, at this point. Not dewy, but not matte. The only thing is, when I go up really, really close, which I hopefully nobody is looking at you this up close, but when I do look up really, really close, I just feel like I can really tell that I'm wearing foundation. Like, I can really see it sitting on my skin, especially around my mouth area. I really can just see it clinging to my skin there. It's not doing great on like dry patches because it's just making the texture of dry patches come out a little bit more. I think maybe if you had very oily skin, this might be a great option. It could just be the fact that it's a powder and I'm not used to like powder products, and I can like see it on my skin because it looks like a powder. That being said, I think it hasn't worn down anywhere except for obviously like around my nose area, which always happens with every product for me. It has worn away there, but everywhere else it's still on my skin. My blush and bronzer actually clung to this powder really, really nicely. Like, everything's still on and hasn't faded. Like I mentioned, it's just kind of the fact that it's clinging to the dry patches, which I'm not the biggest fan of. But again, I don't think it's meant for people with dry skin. I think it is meant for oily or combination skin types. You can see this being a product that I might like more in the summertime. I'll just have to get a better shade. Like I said, the shade actually turned out to be a very good match. I thought it was going to be too light, and it did look quite chalky when I first put it on. That was the word I was looking for this morning, chalky. I did think it looked chalky when I first tried it, but it has kind of blended and it really matches my skin now. It's actually quite a good shade match for me. Those are my thoughts on this product. I think it's good for a powder. I don't mind it. I'm going to compare it to some of the other powdered foundations that I have, but I'm overall quite impressed with this one. I think it looks really nice on the skin. I kind of am looking forward to wearing it again and testing it out more throughout the month. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you as always for watching. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Please subscribe if you'd like to see more videos, and I will see you in my next one.